Y'all live over there. So I'm gonna try to squeeze in on Instagram. Hey y'all, welcome to the She Shack. Welcome to the She Shack, everybody. Listen, we got all kinds of stuff going on in here tonight. But give me 2 seconds, y'all. I'm working on this Instagram camera because I'm like half in, half out. Give me 1 second. Right here. This one. And then we can't move it too much because then we got. Oh, not it.
Well, you want me to just not? I don't.
It can be good.
Huh?
That's good enough.
Oh, okay.
Try to fix it. Y'all bear with us, honey, because we trying to get our life together. Yeah, this one look like it's a little.
Right.
Hey, bro, we see you.
There you go.
Right there.
Yeah,
Right
that's
there?
good.
Okay,
I
good.
think I can see it.
You can see it?
Yeah, there you go.
We a little crooked.
Okay, that's
Hot dog. Hot dog.
Okay, there you go.
We straight, ladies?
Yeah, I guess.
That look straight?
that looks straight.
Uh-huh. All right.
Put it. I'm getting there. Excuse me. Okay. I think that's good.
All right.
Go ahead, then.
I'm completely cut off on Facebook
Is the right one Facebook?
and Instagram. And the only one I'm showing is, let me try to fix this. Y'all bear with
Well,
us.
can you turn the thing
I'm
up?
trying to fix it. But when I,
Okay, I can see the chair now.
when I turn it, you're out.
Who out? Me?
Come on, Mom. Come on over a little bit more. Come on. The family.
Okay, there we go. All right.
Let's try to- There we go.
There you go.
There we
Okay.
go. Now that just did something. I can't see over here.
All right.
Hey y'all. Hey bro. I see y'all watching us. And don't be laughing at us while we're trying to get these cameras together. Because we get in there. I think this is it. This is it. Hey! We got the cameras together. Hey everybody. Welcome to the She Shack. It's me, A Queen here. Today is Thankful Tuesday. Y'all know how we get down on Thankful Tuesday. We got to survey the room and find out what are you thankful for. We always have to take us a moment and just kind of like hit the pause button and say, do some reflecting. Even in the most of, the hustle and bustle and things going on in our day, we got to stop and give God glory for something. So here in the She Shack, we started off by giving God glory for our day. So for me, I'm going to say I'm thankful that we continue to press on in the light of emergencies, in the light of cameras problems, in the light of not starting on our time. But remember one thing that came to my mind. It said it's never your time. It's always God's time. So what you think is late is on time and perfect timing for him. So I'm just thankful that we didn't give up, that we just kept going. She was like, oh my God, traffic. Oh, I have an emergency. I said, listen, take a breath. It's all good. We're going to work through it. So I am thankful that we were all able to just stick together, hang in there together, and get to this very moment. I have been waiting anxiously, and y'all know I've been waiting anxiously to get her on the She Shack. So without further ado, I have Miss LaShawn Drew Daniels, CEO, 3 successful businesses, and I have always my pleasure to have my mother sitting here with me tonight. And so we are going to dig right down into it. And because you're our special guest, so we're going to start with you first.
Okay.
What are you thankful for?
So I am thankful that everything that could have been meant to break me over the last 2 weeks did not.
Okay.
And in the process of that, lessons were learned, right? I'm extremely, blessed. And I am just excited that things that may have been able to kind of take me off my course did not take me off my course. Little bumps in the road that came along, little hurdles, it's all good. because I'm able to be here today, sit here with you all, and be thankful. And God told me I'm His child, and He got me, and that's exactly what's been happening. So I'm thankful.
Amazing. That is wonderful. I'm talking about like just right in alignment. One thing that I was talking to one of my really great friends who happens to pray with me and pray for me, and I called her to express to her how excited I was about being invited to the NAACP dinner, which turned out to be way more than I actually anticipated, right? And because of that, I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to like process this. And she reminded me, she said, God can trust you with it. So that's why He put you in a room that He knows that He can trust you with it.
Right.
So I said, because I told her, I said, when I first got there, I felt like the paint on the wall. Like I felt like I wanted to be invisible. I didn't want people to notice me there. I didn't, almost in a sense, felt like I don't even belong in this room. All these people with degrees and doctors and movers and shakers and carrying on, and I'm like, I'm still trying to get my first degree. You know what I mean? But I was affectionately reminded that I was exactly where I was supposed to be.
When you supposed to be?
And when I was supposed to be there.
Right.
So there's never that God made a mistake about putting you someplace or made a mistake about anything happening in your life. Everything that happens the way He has divinely designed it to happen.
Right.
So I'm just so honored today. We're going to share and talk about how we met. How I was a nervous wreck the whole time. The whole time I was a nervous wreck. And she's looking at it, she's saying to me, I'm honored to meet you. And I'm like, I'm still thinking to myself, I'm nobody. I'm just, I just got this podcast where I'm trying to get a message out and motivate and inspire people and just do something that's good. That was it. And you're like, oh, I'm so happy to meet you. And I'm like, okay. So, Mom, why don't you share with us? Because my mother always brings great wisdom to the show.
Okay.
Always bring great wisdom to the show. So, I want her to tell us about what she's thankful for and how is not only what you're thankful for, but at what realization, because we can say, oh, I'm thankful God woke me up this morning. Or I'm thankful that, I have food. And that's not to be minimized because there is a lot of food insecurities. But when we think about where our own personal challenges have been in our personal life, that's only between you and God. When you think about that, what can you give yourself credit for and say, Lord, I am so thankful that and complete the sentence.
Okay, I can complete the sentence because Yvette kept telling me she was having a guest. So I was under the assumption, that's why it doesn't never play to assume. Okay, so I was under the assumption that since she was having a guest, then I wasn't going to come. All right. So when she called me, she said, "Mom, you come to the seaside." I was like, "Man, you said you was having a guest." She said, "Well, Mom, you always supposed to come." So once she told me that, I was overjoyed.
Really?
Yeah, because I really wasn't expecting to come. I really wasn't. I was, a lot of time when you have guests, that would usually be my day off. You know what I'm saying? But when she called me and said, "Mom, you're always supposed to be on the seaside." So I was really, my heart changed instantly when she told me, "Mom, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll be there."
Well, let's just, before we go any further, before we move any further with the She Shack, let me clear that up. One, let me just say this. I'm often encouraged when I feel discouraged about what's happening on this platform or not happening. But one thing I can say is because you show up for me, it makes me show up for me. Consistently tears already, just getting started. But it makes me show up for me, because inside of me still your little girl still reigns, who wants to never disappoint her mother, who I know is watching me, who I know instilled in me one thing we never do, and that's quit. We never, ever quit. Quitting is not what we do.
No.
So even when I felt in those moments I wanted to give up, and there's been plenty of times where I was like, why do I keep doing this? Why am I still doing this? Why? And I question, like literally question God, like, God, what is the purpose? Why am I still doing this? And right when I'm like, I'm just not going to do the She Shack today, my mom would be ringing the doorbell. I'm ready for the She Shack. You know what I mean? So it's like, so this platform, like what they say, there's always foundational people to help keep you strong. Mm-hmm. My mother is that foundational person who's like, this She Shack thing, you're always, no matter who's on the She Shack, you're always on the She Shack, period. Unless you say, I'm not going to be able to make it today. I don't care who's sitting in this seat. You always have a seat here on this platform.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
And it is my honor to share this seat with you.
Yes. She
Right.
always have a seat on the
Right.
She Shack.
It's my honor.
And when I tell you, you bring a lot of wisdom. And like even sometimes with me, my perspective could be clouded, and she corrects me with love. Like, no, that's not what this is. One thing is, we are never too old to learn. Right. And we're never too old to be corrected.
That's
and
right.
Those two things, I love my mom for, because she's patient with me. Like, she's literally like, I get it. Like, I get that your experience is not my experience, but I still need you to understand and honor wisdom. Like, don't ever get that twisted. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you always come to the She Shack and looking beautiful every time. Like, every time, always looking absolutely amazing.
I try hard, but you know why I changed how I'm not going to say I changed how I go out. Mm-hmm. I kind of just dress it up a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I do that is because I was looking at this program on television, and about me being single and available.
I like how she said that.
And available.
Single and available.
Okay, y'all heard that.
Single and ready to mingle.
Yeah. So while I was listening to the program, and the lady was saying, sometimes you may run into Mr. Right at any moment given time. So, you always have to kind of be
You want to look like you're ready for him.
Yeah.
You got to look like you're ready.
So
That's
now,
actually good.
Yeah. You look ready.
Yeah, I do. I'm always ready.
You are ready.
So, I try to, spruce up. Because sometimes, I'm going to have to be honest with you, sometimes I don't feel like it,
We all go through that.
Listen.
What?
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't feel like it. But I notice now that I get more attention. Like when I'm going out places.
When you putting a little bit of extra
on
on
a little bit extra.
It's that confidence stuff. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, right?
Okay.
It's all about the confidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you feel good, when you feel like you look good, that's what you exude out to other people, right? Mm-hmm. So even sometimes, like I'll go to the store and I might be in some slides. I look bummy, but I'm confident, right? I think I'm cute. Anyway, right? And the amount of people that will actually talk to me, like, do you see what I got on?
What I have on?
Like, but it's the confidence, right?
That
That we exude, that shows, that's this aura that makes people want to, like, who is that? You know what I mean? And they want to know who that is, right?
And a lot of times that's what happens, sometimes they'll ask me, you just get off from work? I'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, Lord, I said, first I'm so tired, I can't hardly stand up. He said, well, you don't look like you just got off work. So, but, I'm living life for me. Okay? Because the only person that can disappoint me now is me.
Before we get
So-
too deep into our convo, because this is gonna be a good night, I can tell y'all right now that y'all, if you, I know this is 9 o'clock and not 7 o'clock. So if you unwinding, kick your feet up, get your favorite drink, and just tune into the She Shack. Drop down in the chat and conversate with us. But before we go any further,
I would like to do one thing.
wish my brother,
My son,
a happy birthday.
My
And not
grandson.
just my brother, but my nephew, Zion. It is his birthday as well. So I know that y'all went out to Dave & Buster's tonight and celebrated, and I am so sorry I could not be there. But you see where I am, right? You see I'm here on the She Shack, and I'm making things happen because we are generational curse breakers in this family. So, but I wanted to just send a special shout out to my brother, my ace, my right hand, my left and right foot and legs, my heart and soul. I want you to know that I love you more than anything. And I am so immensely thankful that God saw fit to bless you with another circle around the sun. So we have so much to celebrate, and I'll see you soon. Bro, I love you. Zion, Auntie loves you very much. And I'll see y'all soon. Not Sunday though. Not Sunday.
we will see
Not
you guys
Sunday.
soon.
But you know, I'm gonna pop in on y'all. You never know when I'm gonna show up. You know, I'm the queen of pop-ups. So
And
I'll see y'all
have
soon.
a good time too, Alicia. We're not leaving you out of the mix.
Leisha, it's not your birthday, but we love you, girl. We love you, girl.
And Aaliyah, I know
We
y'all
love
having a
y'all,
good
but this is specifically about Zion and my brother,
Yeah.
Marlon McYelvin. So guys, y'all wish my brother a happy birthday. Y'all all over Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Y'all wish my brother a happy
nephew.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Say happy
Yeah.
birthday. It's
Happy
a
birthday.
father and son combo.
Yeah.
Y'all wish him happy birthday. So we're gonna jump right into it because I could not wait to just get you in here to talk to you about how are you doing it. Like, how are you doing it? You have your hot dog company, the Girl with a Grill, you have your nonprofit organization, community activist, philanthropist, humanitarian, a mother, a girlfriend. Like, how are you doing it? Like, how?
You balance it
Like, how
all.
are you doing it? Like, how are you doing it? And I mean showing up and always giving the same energy. Now, we know things go on behind the scenes. But when even when I met you, it was like a Sunday afternoon. We was like all off on an off day, but out supporting our sister. And you gave the same beauty, glow, welcome, love. How are you doing that? How you doing it?
You know what? I always say I'm blessed,
Mhm.
right? And I'm
Mhm.
thankful. And that's kind of how I move, right?
Okay.
I don't forget, the journey, right?
Okay.
To be able to get to where I'm at right now, and then the journey that is going to happen to get me to wherever I'm going to go next, right?
Okay.
I've learned a long time ago that you have to, not everything is 100% every day.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Okay, that's a change. That's a
All right.
that's a different thought process. Not 100% every day,
Everything
but
doesn't get 100% every day. Sometimes the business requires more and your family gets a little bit less
Okay.
because you're doing it for your family.
Okay.
Sometimes your family gets more and the business gets a little bit less, right?
Okay.
Because
Okay.
out of a day, we all have 24 hours out the day, right?
Mhm.
And the way that we break our 24 hours down, because we all got the same amount of time, but the way that we break our 24 hours down, everything can't get 100%, but whatever you're doing, you give 100%.
Oh, that's okay. Gotcha.
Okay,
Gotcha.
okay.
Gotcha.
So, there's times where, like, my children, where I might not be able to be in the business because my children need me that day. I'm giving 100% to them.
Mhm.
But if I'm in the business, I'm giving 100% to them.
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
If I'm out, feeding others, feeding, anybody that may be homeless or, helping out, things with my nonprofit, that gets 100%, whatever has my focus.
Mhm.
And I've had to learn that to give myself grace. Right?
We talk a lot about that here on the She Shack.
To give myself grace and not feel guilty. Right?
Explain, give us more, when you say give yourself grace, what does that actually mean for you?
That means I'm not perfect.
Okay.
Right? That means that perfection doesn't exist.
Okay.
And while we're aiming to be the best and while we're aiming for perfection, perfection does not exist. So at the end of the day, I have to give myself grace to know that if I fall short in an area, it's okay, right? As long as I get back up and finish whatever that particular task may be, it's gonna get done. But I gotta give myself grace. Sometimes we live in our heads too much.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And when you take up too much space in your head, then you end up not being able to move and perform in the manner in which you need to do that because you're stuck. Right? You're stuck in a mindset, you're stuck in a thought, you're stuck in, oh man, I was supposed to be there at 4 o'clock. I got there at 4:05. You don't know what that 5 minutes saved you from.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
You don't know what that 5 minutes saved you from, right? So, while we're aiming to always be where we need to be, when we need to be there, the times when maybe it's an accident on the road or something's going on, right? That may have saved you from
something
else, right? So we got to
Mhm.
give ourselves grace sometimes and know that it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to fall short. It's okay for maybe one of my kids to be like, man, can you take me here? And I got to say, no, I can't.
Oh,
okay.
Okay, because we actually, one of my, a very close person, like extended family, sent me a message the other morning and said, practice saying no without an explanation. And it literally, that was like, because if I thought about it, when I say no, it's always a because after it. Like I'll say, no, I can't do that because, or no, I'm not able to make it because. It's never just no without a because, without an explanation, because I've always felt like I needed to give an explanation for my no. And it just resonated with me, like, I don't owe an explanation for no.
No.
Do you feel like, so how did you get there? How did you get to a point where it says, this is yes, this is no, yes is yes, and no is no, no explanations needed?
By saying yes too many times.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
By saying yes too many
That's
times,
what
right?
I had to learn how to say no.
Okay.
I was always, okay, I'll do it. Okay, you can come. Okay, yes, yes, yes. I was always, and then my yes for me sometimes turned out to be disappointment.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So
can you elaborate a little bit? Because you said your yes at times when you're saying yes, you're getting the short end of the yes and feeling disappointed by even saying yes.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. So
Yes,
so
yes.
so yes can come with disappointment.
Yeah, yes can come with a disappointment.
Okay.
Because you know why? When you saying yes, you're giving your 100%, just like she was saying, you're giving your absolute best. And then once you give your absolute best, and then your best is not good enough. Okay.
So now is we're talking about entitlement, because now it's like I'm giving you my best. You asked me, I said yes. I'm giving my 100%, as LaShawn said, but then the receiver of your 100% is now your 100% doesn't meet what they feel. Right. So now
their criteria was.
Oh, got it.
So,
Okay.
I had to learn how to say no, because no was not in my vocabulary at one point in time in my life. Every time somebody would ask me something, it was always a yes, whether I wanted to do it or not. I would say yes. Okay. So one day, just out of the blue, they were like, you know what, Shirley? I'm talking to myself. You need to learn how to say no sometimes. You're tired, or you just, you don't went that last mile of the way. Your whole day is consumed by somebody else. You need to learn how to say no and take time for yourself. So I had to really teach myself to be comfortable in saying no.
That's amazing. Like when you bring that up, one of the things that I heard you say, and it was like your time. And one thing I think for me I had to learn is the value of my time, right? Like that when I'm carving out times for you. I need to be carving out time for individuals who actually value me as a person and value my time. When we had a show not long ago, we was talking about timing is everything. Bishop T.D. Jakes preached a sermon, and the title of it was "Timing is Everything." Right? And
Timing is everything.
He said, and the way he explained about why timing is everything, and that we try to put so much emphasis on our time that we lose focus on God's timing for us. So you could be standing over here waiting for a blessing that's over there. Because you out of order, you not in the right place at the right time, because it's not on your time, it is on God's timing, right? So when that resonated with me, it was like, how valuable is your time? How valuable is that? Right, how valuable is that? And I don't think enough people think about the value of time, or how important it was to you to carve out, or carve out time out of your day to make what they have or what to support them is valuable, right?
See, the thing about it is you have to learn how to tilt your desk the other way.
Right. Now, what does that mean exactly?
So what that means is you got to hold people accountable that are around you to do what it is that they're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So when I say tilt your desk, you have a desk full of various things that are going on. Somebody comes and they sit down and they say, hey, I need this from you. You're like, okay, I'm going to add it to my desk. Somebody else comes, oh, I need this from you. I'm going to add it to my desk. At the end of the day, all these people came to you and dropped their stuff on you. Now you got a desk full of stuff. You can't possibly get all of it done. So you have to be able to learn how to tilt it towards the people that are coming. Some things that when they come to you and they ask for support, do they really need your support? Or do they just don't want to do it? Right?
Gotcha.
So then that's when you have to sit back and say, okay, hold on, let me look at what you're asking me, right? Is this something that I need to take on? Can I support you in it, or do we just not do it at all?
Gotcha.
Right? And those are the determinations that you need to make. When you have, especially if you have employees, right, or you have partners, then everybody needs to share a certain level of responsibility, right?
Okay.
And everybody has a strength. You like to try to play into people's strengths, because then if you do that, then that means whatever that task is probably going to be completed really, really well, right?
Gotcha.
Sometimes we like to give people things that they're not capable of doing, right? Or they don't want to do them. Either they're not capable or they don't want to. And
One of the two.
One of the two.
Okay.
And then when we don't get the results that we want from it, now we're upset with them. You can't be upset with somebody that either is not capable of it or they just don't want to do it when you gave it to them to do.
Right.
So you have to sit back and say, okay, you know what? Is this something that I should be having you do, or I should have you do? I don't need to be the one doing it, right? Because if I have to do all these jobs, then that means as the CEO of a company, I can't grow and build and run the company because I'm doing the jobs of everybody else.
Right.
It can't happen.
Do you think that can be the mistake of many small business owners when they're venturing or they're starting out, and then they notice maybe that they're having some challenges with their employees or partners or investors, right? And that maybe they're taking on so much on their desk can ultimately conclude to be the demise of their small business.
It can. I think it can. You know why I think it can? Because of the fact that, is I do it myself. They have this I do it myself syndrome because the other person doesn't want to do it, right? So you keep saying I do it myself, then you're doing everything yourself. So what if you're doing it all, then what's the purpose of having somebody else or a partner or employee that's supposed to be task worthy? Okay, so and the reason why I said that way is because I'm reading this book by John Wesley. All right, and John Wesley says that when it's a person, you give tasks to those people who are capable. Just like she was saying, you give tasks to those people who are capable of completing the task. Okay. Regardless of what it is, if they're gonna shuffle paper, if they're a good paper shuffler, then you give them.
But
that
I guess the
task
question
to do.
still kind of remains in my mind when I hear you say that. How are you able to decipher? You won't know what a person is able to complete or do until they're
Because you have to
assigned
get
the
to know
task.
that you have to get to know the person and figure out what their strengths are.
But when you're dealing on a level where you're running a business, how is it that you get to know all of these people?
See, the job applications, they put it on there.
But that's not necessarily so, because
Okay.
when I worked as an administrator, and I interviewed a lot of people, right? Sometimes when you get applications, they're answering the question the way they think you want them to answer the
That's
question.
true.
They're not
That's true.
answering the question honestly.
Honestly.
They're just, it's like every application is the representative to the real person.
Correct.
That's how I've come to understand when interviewing and working in administratively. So I'm saying, what my question is, if when you say you get to know these people, once the representative is gone, so you don't have the representative now, how do you decipher? Because you have the hot dog factory in Voorhees, and I'm sure that you're having all different kind of applicants, and there are people that you have to put in places that you can trust to get these jobs done in your absence. Because you can't be there every single day, run your house, run your other business, be a philanthropist, be the humanitarian that you are, without having some people in place that you can trust, right? How do you get there?
You have to trust people to do what you expect them to do based off of who they are.
Okay.
Okay. And when I say that, what that means is that if you're going to be in business, you got to get good with allowing people to do things the way that maybe you wouldn't necessarily do them, and be okay with it.
Oh, gotcha.
Because if you want to be in control of every single thing, every single moment, every single hour, you're not going to have anybody that's going to be able to do anything, right?
Gotcha.
So when I say that, I'm going to give you the play. I'm going to tell you exactly why things need to be the way that they are, whatever the case is. Maybe I go at it straight. Maybe you go at it kind of curvy, but we all get into the same place, right? So I have to trust people enough to do the job that I'm asking them to do. If I'm going to micromanage you, then I need to not have you there, because nobody's going to do it the way I want it done, right? My way. But you may still get it done your way, and we got to the same place. As long as we're following the road that needs to get there in some capacity, you got to trust people to be who they are in the capacity of what they're doing, right? A lot of people in business, especially small businesses, it's either my way or the highway. That's the wrong approach to have, because then you're going to be by yourself.
Gotcha.
All right. And then you're going to be wondering why you're having to do this, and this, because you didn't put anybody in place and teach them how you would like to see it done, but also give them give them some rope, right, to be able to run that for you.
There's the grace again. Give them grace as you're giving yourself,
You gotta
right?
give them some grace, right? If I put a manager in place, I obviously feel that
They're capable
you're
of doing
capable of doing this. Maybe there's a better way to do something. You
Than your
listen.
way.
Exactly.
Right,
you have
right.
to listen to people,
Okay.
right? Because you want people, when you look to your right and when you look to your left, right, who want to be side by side with you, right?
Okay.
I tell all of my employees, I joke with them all the time, I'm like, I work for y'all, right? I tell them all the time, I work for y'all, right? What do you need, right? I work for you, right? Because when I'm not there, you're the one that's running whatever it is that you're running, right? You need me, I got you, right? Now, if something needs to be corrected, we're going to have a conversation about it. But I'm trusting you to do this that I'm putting in your hands. When it's like our children, right? And not to equate employees to children, but my point is, it's like our children. When we entrust them to do certain things, and you're like, man, mom really trusts me to do this. They want to do a good job,
Right.
right? So it's the same thing. When you entrust somebody to do a position, then they want to do a good job. Most people don't want to fail. Right?
That's true.
Absolutely.
If they fail, then we need to look at why did you fail. And sometimes you got to look in your own mirror first. Did you fail because I didn't set you up correctly?
Right.
I didn't give you the tools to succeed. Okay. Once we get through that and we figure out whether that is a real reason or it's not, then let's look at what the next thing is. Okay, did you fail just because you didn't want to do it?
Right.
That's a whole different dynamic. If you just didn't want to do it, then maybe this isn't the place for you, and that's perfectly
Right.
fine.
That's fine.
Right?
Right.
But as business owners, we have to look at ourselves first, right? And we have to determine, are you setting your people up for success? Are you giving them the necessary tools? Have you given them the necessary training, right? If they ask you a question, were you able to answer that question for them in a way that they understand so they can execute on whatever it is that you're asking them to do?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
We got to get out of our own ways sometimes and think that everything that people are doing that's wrong is because they want to do it wrong. That's not true, right? So when you talk about juggling all different things, I have to trust people in the positions that they're in. Now, I have a small team, but I got a strong team.
Right.
All right? I don't need 100 people,
Okay.
right, to get done what needs to get done, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we continue to grow, of course, we'll bring more people on board, right? But it's important for me to have a strong foundation, a strong base. As entrepreneurs, yes, when you start out, you should be doing quite a few things, because how do you know something's wrong if you want to outsource everything, right? You got to know what's right, and you got to be in the trenches and understand the dynamics of your business. None of us are that far. None of us should be that far removed from the businesses that we have, right? So you still I still pop in there. I pop in. They don't never know when I'm coming.
As you should.
Right? I pop in. What's going on here? You know what I mean? Keep everybody on their toes,
Right.
But at the end of the day, though, I have to trust those that are in positions that I put them in to perform in those positions, even if it looks different than maybe the way I would do it.
And I think one of the other things that goes a long way when you put a certain amount of trust in that individual, and I'm pretty sure at some point in time you tell them that was a good job, because a lot of times people want to hear that's a good, you did something good, okay. A lot of and I guess because in my profession or our profession, a lot of times you don't hear from the boss unless you've done something wrong. Okay. But I think as small business owner, because you want to be able to say, you know what, I'm happy you did that way. Okay. It gives you a different perspective on how things should run. You know what I'm saying? Because like she said, she has to entrust that they're going to do it and do it correctly in her absence as well as in her presence.
Right.
So if a person is continually to do, if they have never done it before and you train them how to do it that way, they are going to continue to do it that way because that's the only way that they know.
And
right?
I mean, adding on to that, I think one of the most profound things that I heard in building that team is having that strong base. Not the strength actually being in the numbers, but the strength is actually in the characteristics and the ethics and the morals of the people that is actually on the team. So it's like when that really what that really resonated with me as aspiring, like have like big aspirations in the future, and oftentimes I think to myself, I need to build this team, and I pray and I ask God, send me the people that you want me to have. And on the outside, on looking in, especially social media can give you distorted visions of what's actually happening, and it'll make you feel that you're still not there because they gotta have all these people working on their behalf, and how do I get there? So that's what I wanted to ask you, because we're in our series right now of Fearless. And when I thought about Fearless, there was no way that I could do Fearless without having you here. And I'm like, there had to be a moment where there was no more fear to perpetuate fear. That I'm going to buy this business, I'm going to invest in this company, I'm going to start this nonprofit, I'm going to go out to this community, I'm going to take this grill, because we're going to talk about Girl with the Grill. I'm going to take this grill, I'm just going to pop up all over places, and there's no more fear. From what point, which business came first, and how did you get past the fear of doing it?
You know what? always been pretty fearless.
Okay, okay.
My dad, may he rest in peace, but I was always like his rebel child, right? I was the one that was going to question, like, no, we're not doing that, we're doing this, right?
Okay.
I never walk around in fear per se. More so caution.
Okay.
Right, in the past. Right?
Explain to us the difference.
So to me, right, caution will cause you to take a long time to do some things, right?
Okay.
Because you want to plan, right? You spend all your time planning. Next thing you know, it's 3-4 years later, you're still planning, right?
Okay.
So at some point, you got to pull the trigger. And either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it, right? My motto always was, what's the worst that can happen, right? Am I going to die? If I'm not going to die, it's all good.
Right, okay.
And that's how I kind of think about things, right? So for me, it was getting out of the cautious phase more so, right?
Yeah.
Then instead of jumping out into the fire, so to speak.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
I had my son young.
Okay.
Right? So quick background is I had a full ride scholarship to college.
Okay.
I was a biochem major. Right?
Okay.
Attended Old Dominion University. I was going to be a doctor. Right.
Okay.
That was the plan.
That was the plan.
That was the plan.
Okay,
I was going to be a
gotcha.
doctor, right? Everybody in the family excited. There's a doctor coming in the family, right? So I get to college. About a year and a half into college, I get pregnant. Right?
Okay.
Now this is my middle school sweetheart, right? So we've been around for a long time, whatever the case is, right? But I get pregnant, right? I'm not even 20 yet. Maybe I just turned 19.
Okay.
Right? Actually, I did just turn 19, and I'm pregnant. I didn't have the support at the time to be able to continue to go to school and be able to take care of a child.
Gotcha.
So I had to drop out of college.
Okay.
Okay. Dropping out of college, gave a full ride scholarship, everything, because at that point I had to make some choices and some decisions, and I didn't want to become a statistic, so to speak, right? You talk about family fired up. My dad at the moment. My dad at the moment in his anger was like, oh man, you're not gonna be anything.
You know what? That is, to me, that is one of the phrases that just kind of just burns my biscuits. You know why? And the reason why I said it, okay, you had a baby. Women have babies all the time.
Yeah.
But just because you had a baby does not define what your future is going to look like. But it seems like, when young women have children at a young age, automatically they assume that their life is ruined.
And you know what? And we talk about social media and a lot of these platforms all the time. When you look at certain things, sometimes that's the image they portray. You know what I mean? Oh man, you had a baby, life is over. That's it. You can't do anything else, right? Remember, we're black women in this society.
Right.
Okay. So as black women, we already got 2 strikes against us. Right? You're black and you a woman.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, you decided that you want to get pregnant.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So you definitely aren't gonna do anything, right?
Oh, yeah, you hitting it now. You
Right?
you getting it.
At that moment now, it's almost like you out there to dry. So what they tell you is, oh, go get welfare, go get this, go get some WIC. I didn't have all that, right? I used to stand in line with my checks and my little $75 limit and hold up the line so that way they could ring up all my stuff. I done been there, right?
Right. Okay.
But the reality of it is that that's where I refused to stay there.
Oh,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
There because I had somebody that I brought into this world that didn't ask to be here, right? At that moment, fear no longer exists. right?
Mhm.
You know, I done the ultimate thing right now, you know, in the eyes of the people around me. You know, you dropped out of college,
Woo!
with a full ride scholarship. What is wrong with you?
I got you.
You
Got
got
you.
pregnant.
Yeah,
What is
yeah.
wrong with you?
Right,
You had
okay.
this whole life ahead of you, and you just ruined it all, right?
Mhm.
So at that moment, fear doesn't exist because I can't be fearful, right? I can't not jump into things that I feel like are going to help create a life for myself and my son. Because I done already did the worst thing at the time that could have happened, right?
Mhm.
So at that moment, I had to learn to be fearless and say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go take this temp job over here. I'm gonna go do this. I've never done that, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do some data entry, right? So that way I can bring in a check at this
Right.
agency. Right?
Right,
The worst
right,
that's gonna happen.
Right.
You know,
right.
it can't
right.
get no worse than this,
Right. Right.
So that is, I think, at that moment for me, even at that age, because I had no choice, I had to be like, okay, we're just gonna try out some things and we're gonna see what happens. I went waitressing because it was money that I was gonna get every single day, right?
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
good with people, so I said, oh, this is great. I'm making
Oh
money every single day, right?
I love
It's
that.
amazing.
I love
But
that.
that is what catapulted me into the restaurant business.
Okay, from
Because-
waitressing.
From waitressing.
Okay.
Because I had always had a entrepreneurial manager spirit, so to speak.
Okay.
So I went from waitressing to then becoming a manager for a multitude of chain restaurants.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Came out of that when I had got pregnant with my daughter because I had to go on bed rest, right? And said the next time I do this thing, I'm gonna own it, right?
Hey,
I'm not gonna
that was the
spend
goal.
24/7 working for somebody else and all they nonsense.
Mhm.
If I'm gonna work 24/7, this is gonna be for myself and my own nonsense.
Right.
Let
right.
me
Okay,
ask you
okay,
something
okay.
about that. Like, so you're at that moment.
Yep.
You've set the goal.
Yep.
You've seen, you know, the roughest of the days. You've had the WIC, you've had to be the food stamps and all of that stuff. I've been a waitress. I'm now pregnant with my second child. And my goal is if I got to go back in here, I got to own this. There is no way I'm going to be an employee in here, right? What do you do next? Where do you start with your ownership? Where did you start?
So I didn't do that till 16 years later.
Okay.
I went into corporate America.
Okay.
Right.
You went to corporate America.
I went into corporate America. Right?
Wow. Okay.
And I learned a lot of things in corporate America being a black woman in a company that was white male dominated.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
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 I had
Okay.
to, now mind you, I said I never got my diploma. All I had was my high school diploma.
Right. No degrees.
No
We're not talking
degrees.
about you in corporate America. No degrees.
No degrees, right?
That's God. Okay.
No degrees,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I started from the bottom,
Okay.
right? And over the years, worked my way into positions that women of color, especially women with no degrees of color, were not in.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
There. So it came to a point to where I ended up getting a seat at the table.
Now, seat at the table.
Sitting at the table, nobody looks like me, because of the confidence that I had in myself and my skills and my abilities and what I brought to the table. Most people didn't even know I didn't have a college degree.
Hello.
Okay.
Okay.
I was a smart black girl.
I like that. I like that. Yeah.
Right?
I like
So
that.
as I'm sitting at these tables with nobody that looks like me,
Mm-hmm.
there's no women sitting at these tables. There's no people of color, not even men, sitting at these tables, right?
Okay.
I said, what's going to happen is we're not going to check this affirmative action box. All right? If I'm sitting at this table, y'all going to hear what I got to say.
Okay.
Because diversity is more than just color.
That's
It's
true.
mindset, it's thoughts, it's processes. And in order for us to be able to build and grow, and for other people who do look like me to come to the table, we got to be open enough to be able to have these conversations.
Okay.
Right?
Absolutely.
I worked for this company for 16 years.
Okay.
Climbed up the ladder in many different ways.
Okay.
Made a lot of changes throughout the company in many different ways.
Okay. Okay.
And one day I said, you know what? I'm leaving.
Just like that.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm out. I had opened the restaurant probably about 2 years prior
Okay.
to that decision. And I realized that in order for me to be able to move the restaurant, move the things that I personally wanted to accomplish forward, I couldn't do both.
Wow.
Right?
Now that is fearless.
You
That
talk
is
about
fearless.
you talk about when they say take the leap of faith, honey, I took that leap of faith.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I gave up a corporate job making good money. Okay? Making good money. And I left. I gave a month notice. I trained up who I needed to train up. I said I'm out.
That was it.
That was it. There was
Outta here.
there was no more checks coming on Fridays. I had no more checks. And I'm not gonna hold you. That first Friday come with no check. You like, ooh.
Hold up. Did I make the best of this?
Like, hold up. Should I call them back? Like, should I?
Right, should I reconsider?
Is it past the time for me? Like, am I past the employment deadline? You know,
Right.
But
Right.
that's just being honest, right?
Right,
You
right,
sit back and
right.
it's like, man, that check is gone.
That's over with.
It's over with. It's no more.
No more.
Ever again, right?
Oh, that's big. That's
Health
major.
insurance is
Gone.
right?
Over.
All the things
Kaput.
that you used to be able to rest your hat on
And gave you
comfortable
security.
with, and gave you security
Mhm,
is
mhm.
gone.
Over with.
So it's like, whew,
Girl.
I really got to rest on my abilities now, right?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
what's up?
courageous right there. Now that I don't know.
So my motto was,
Check on Friday.
no check on Friday. I went to the bank and I said, yeah, you ever seen that meme where that girl's looking like this?
Like, yeah.
That was me. I was like,
I love it.
Like-
No check on Friday. That just hit me hard. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, Lord, don't tell me to quit my job.
look, but something I learned, and I learned this from other entrepreneurs, and I learned this, it was sitting in my spirit, right?
Okay.
And it was like, it's time, right?
It was time.
It's time.
That
And I ain't gonna hold you. I double dutch for a minute.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm like, I can get it.
But it was time.
Okay.
And in my spirit, I knew it was time.
You knew it was
I
time.
knew it was, and I remember I sat back, and I remember actually this week makes 1 year that I left.
Really?
It makes this week.
This week is an amazing week because you're getting ready to have a birthday.
I am Saturday.
Yes, you're gonna have and you're marking the anniversary where you said you was the ultimate of fearless, like super cake fearless,
Yes.
and walked away from your corporate America job, invested everything
Yes.
into entrepreneurship, self-ownership, and not only are you are no longer an employee, but now you're an employer.
Yeah.
And a motivator. Let's talk about these young women. Let's talk about your nonprofit. Let's talk about these amazing things that you're doing, because you're doing spectacular, amazing.
So you know what? And I'm gonna say this real quick. The blessing in me leaving opened up so many doors.
Okay.
It was almost as if God was like, I've been waiting on you to make this move so I can give you what you are supposed to have,
Wow.
so then you can take that and put out there what I need you to do.
Wow.
Right? Because
Wow.
I wouldn't have been able to do that had I stayed where I was.
Okay.
And that's a lesson that I teach people. You got to get up sometimes.
Okay.
All right? Sometimes you got to get up and you got to make those moves, and you got to trust, and you have to believe in your own skills and your own abilities, and know what you bring to the table and work that, right? From the time that I left that job, I threw a major concert. I threw with Donnie McClurkin, Leandra Johnson, had a partner. We threw a major concert. Started a nonprofit. My nonprofit is called Staying the Course. I'm so proud. We are a 501c3.
Okay.
And it is geared towards young women between the ages of 10 to 18.
Okay.
And the reason why I selected that range, you know, when you turn 18, the world says that you are an adult.
That's
For
true.
some reason, The world believes that just because that clock turns from 17 to 18, you got all the answers, right? So I want to catch you between those ages from 10 to 18 because that's when so many things are going on and so many things are happening,
that's
right?
true. That's true.
And you know, because of my own story, because I'm very transparent about things, then I'm able to have some of these conversations with these young girls that people either don't want to have or don't know how to have, right?
Okay.
And
Isn't that so true?
It is.
Yeah.
And have the hard conversations, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I got to
Yeah.
start my own household. You know, my daughter has some very hard conversations, you know, with my own daughter, right? So I can't be out there with everybody else's kids. Right?
And not with your own.
And not with my own.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And these, and I always say she's my best teacher.
Okay.
Because there's things that she teaches me still, and I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness, like this is what these girls are doing out here. Right over there.
You okay?
I was almost a doctor. Okay.
You okay, man? You said that, I was like, I'm learning too.
Look, y'all, I told you I was almost a doctor. All right, might have a little.
So I was like, yeah, I'm learning too when you said that.
Yes, but because we're always constantly learning, right?
That's true. That's
So
true.
with staying the course, and the logo that I created for it, it literally is a windy road. It's got a pothole, a speed bump, and a hurdle.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And because these are all things, sometimes we're gonna fall in that pothole. Sometimes we're gonna have to jump over that hurdle, and sometimes we're gonna have to slow down
That's
and go
true.
over that speed bump.
Yeah.
That's right.
But we still need to get to the end of that road.
That's true.
Right.
And the road isn't straight. It's windy. Sometimes you gotta go back again. And the world wants you to believe that you have to be perfect, right? And the world puts a lot of emphasis on these young women to be perfect, right? And to get out there, and if you make a mistake, now you're defined by your mistake. I wasn't gonna be defined by my choice, right? You know, because I had to choose to have my son.
Right.
I wasn't going to be defined by that. So it's important that we're able to invest in these young women, because when we're able to do that, then hopefully they're able to make better choices.
It's so amazing that you like so much of what. First of all, let me just say it's so amazing that your heart is there to give inspiration to a multitude, because it's universal. The pressure of being perfect, of looking a certain way, of living a certain way, of even dressing a certain way. There's so much pressure to just fit into America's image of what we should look like and how we should speak. And at the age of 10, I have a 9-year-old grandson who's very impressionable. At this age, he's learning more than, like, exceedingly.
A lot of leaps and bounds.
Yeah, like just all over. And when you see that the young girls are being so impressed about sex, about having sex, about dressing promiscuously, about just talking a certain way, they're described in just vulgarity, right? And to have someone like you to stand before them and look absolutely beautiful. I'm covered, I'm a CEO, I'm a mother, but I also am relatable because I had my child young too, right? And because I had my child young, it made some changes in my life, but it didn't ruin my life.
Correct.
Because the misconception is that the life is over.
Yep.
Like, you've ruined your life, it's not going to be anything. And you're sitting here, poised and powerful, and inspiring. You know, and that's just so amazing.
You know, and the thing about it is, you know, I wasn't always like that. Right? You know, and sometimes, you know, and we were talking a little bit earlier, sometimes we got to be a little bit more transparent about the journey, right? And not always just focus on the end result, because it's very difficult when you're in that place to see that part of it, right? But when you can hear and see someone say, I was there, I went through this, and it's like, really? You know what I mean? It gives people some hope to know that, okay, I can go from here to here, and it doesn't look perfect doing it.
I
Right.
love actually sharing my story transparently. I love doing that because I believe there's so many people when they look at the show, when they may look at the vehicle I drive or the kind of house or the like I live in or just overall way I dress or whatever the case may be, whatever gives them, a misconception that it was always that way. I'm often to tell them, God didn't show me this part of the journey. And if he was so intentional about not showing it to me, because I know I would have messed it up. Like looking in my rear view mirror into today, oh, I know I would have told that. I mean, it would have been tore up. I would have not gotten it correct. So there's things that God keep hidden from us. He keeps them hidden not because he's deceptive, but because he knows if he show it to us prematurely, we're gonna mess it up.
We got to grow into some things.
You definitely have to grow into
grow
You definitely
into
have to
some
grow
things.
into it. I had to learn how to be a mom on super power modes. I knew nothing about being a mother. I was 16 years old. I was clueless. I didn't know. I knew what I saw my mother do. I know what I saw mothers around me do. And I figured that's what I had to mimic in life. It was embarrassing. I was embarrassed. Like I literally felt like I had failed my mother, my family, my friends, myself, and didn't know how to like start again or where to start, and so I was actually looking for my mom for the direction, and all my mom said to me was, "You're gonna finish high school." And to me, I was like, "Oh, but that's not even like I knew I was gonna finish. If I had to hide my daughter under my shirt and went to school, I knew I was gonna complete high school. It was no way I wasn't gonna finish." But it was like to hear her say, "You're gonna complete high school." I'm like, well, at least I know we on the same page with that, But seeing my mom go through the avenues that she went through to ensure that I was able to, complete high school successfully, that was inspiring to me. But the aunt and uncle and family and cousins that was babysitting my daughter, what my mom didn't know was how they also were pushing me and inspiring me and pouring into me. That ultimately, it may not seem like I was listening, because after my daughter came 2 more kids. Boom, boom. So now I'm 19 and it's 3 of y'all, and I'm looking like, what the hell I need? Like what am I gonna do now? So God knew that he had to take me through. He had to take me all the way around. So when you say stay in the course, that resonates with me. Stay in the course, like no matter how that road went, I stayed on that road. If that road bent this way, I went that way. If he slowly came back that way, I might have fussed and raised hell the whole time, but I stayed there. And that is to be complimented. That is to be commended. It is honorable that not only did you stay it, you named a company after it. And now you're reaching back and making sure that others know what that means and they can also stay the course. When I tell you, I have truly enjoyed your conversation, your presence. You are powerful in more ways than I think that you can realize. For me, like nothing happened haphazardly. What you poured out in the She Shack today and what you poured out into me today, I mean, it's going to go far. This is going to be replayed, and we got to have you to come back. You got to come back to the She Shack, and you have to see, like when the She Shack is in its own real, in our other studio, because we in a little studio. But God is giving us big things.
I'm gonna stop you from saying that.
You gonna stop me from saying?
I'm gonna stop you from saying that we're in this little studio, right? Because the reason why I'm gonna say that is you got people who talk, and don't do anything. All right, you're making it happen. All right. Now this place is beautiful. All right. If y'all see what I see, I was over there taking pictures. All right. It's beautiful. It's inviting and it's warming. And if you never got any space bigger than this is exactly where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do, because it's not the space, it's the people that are in the space.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank
you are the person in this space that is bringing people to your space that you created, that you made people feel welcomed in, right?
That's the
You
goal.
know what I mean?
That is truly the goal.
But you have not only established that goal, you exceeded it, right?
Wow.
So at the end of the day, this is don't diminish, right, what you're doing, all right? Because you just sat here and told me by the time you were 19, you had 3 kids.
3 of them.
You had 3 kids.
3 of them.
All right, by the time you were 19.
3.
By the time you were 19
3.
years old, right?
Yes. Yes.
And today, right, your kids are thriving. You're thriving. You are sitting in a beautiful space, right?
Thank you.
Space, when people are coming together, it's not about square footage,
Okay.
okay?
Mhm.
It's about the presence, the energy,
What you pouring into
what you're
it.
pouring into it.
Right.
So nothing that you're doing is little at all. Because there's some people that are still talking about it.
Okay.
You're actually doing it.
Mhm.
I don't care if you got 1 person that watches, or you got 100 people that watch, or you have 1,000 people that watch, right? You're doing something that you're passionate about, that you love doing, and that's all that matters. And if the people that are watching right now, 1 person takes something away, and that 1 person, there's a saying, 1 + 1 = more than 2.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. And that's why I always tell her, you know, I admire her vision. Because not only is she has a vision, she's working the vision.
Absolutely.
Okay, with her V Love Foundation, she's coming out of her pocket, giving young women a free market experience. You never know, just like the Unity Day that she.
That's
just
crazy
had.
that she brought that.
And the reason why I say that is because, you know, she received so many compliments and people were saying, you know, what a wonderful thing that she's doing. And me personally, I think it's awesome. And the reason why I think it's awesome is because I'm supporting her dream. Okay? I'm supporting her dream because, you know, like I had somebody say, boy, you really work hard when, you know, it's something that you want to do. No, I'm not working hard because it's something I want to do. I'm working hard is because it's something my daughter wanted to do.
She works so hard. Let me just give you your kudos because I don't even know if I said anything about it last week on Tuesday when we came back. So Dr. Geraldine Jones, who's going to be on the She Shack in the near future, who's bringing us an amazing topic titled The New Slavery, and I cannot wait for her to unpack that. But she invited me. She told me I was coming in an inviting way, that I was bringing my complimentary shopping experience to a Unity Day that was being hosted by Brother Ali. I don't know who Brother Ali is. I don't know where it is, but she saw something from months prior when I featured the complimentary shopping experience for the first time. I was put in a position to host a Unity Day, something I've never done. And just never. I didn't even know where to start. But God was able to guide me into where to go. And it rained that day. People still showed up that day. It was so amazing. I felt proud of being able to stay the course, to get to that point. And she said the store was so great that I wanted you to come out. And I'm thinking to myself, when she said the store was that great, I'm like, we only gave out maybe 5 or 10 items, maybe. She was like, no, it was great. Like, it was spectacular. And so I'm like, all right. So we go to this Unity Day, me, my mother, and my husband, because that's my team. Me, my mom, and my husband. That's the team. Husband will come and pack up. If I told him to pack up this whole room, and we're going to take this room to Camden, New Jersey, and sit on Broadway in front of the transportation center and do the She Shack, he going to pack this whole room up and take it there, right? And so I bring all of this stuff. My mother is like sweating. She's working, which she always does. I'm talking about nonstop. She puts her all into it. Like she really, really do. And I I really can't thank you enough, Mom. Like, honestly, because if I tell my mom is like my husband. I'll say, Mom, we gonna pop up. She might not even be with it. Let me just tell you that part. She might not even be feeling it. But if I say I want to do it and I push it, she's gonna come with it. All right, well, what you want me to do? Where you want me to put this at? What you know? She's there, and even if it's behind the scenes of not feeling like that's the best idea in forefront, she like hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder. So to hear my mom say to me, I think what you're doing is amazing. I don't know when or how that mental capacity, that mental thought process of mine would really shift. Because for me, everything that I do, even with my own nonprofit, because I don't even know if I said that, but I have a V-Love Foundation, which is also a 501c3, right? And my purpose of it was really just to show love. And I know I can't touch everybody all the time, but love can go far beyond my touch. So if I can show love to somebody else, that can touch them to show love to the next person and the next person. So we have a campaign that says, make love infectious. Lead your day with it. We changing lives by acts of kindness, small acts of kindness. That's the objective. That's the goal. That's all my heart desire is, like, God, let me be maybe a beacon of hope to your people.
And you know what? And you are, right? And you are, right? Because, like I said, at the end of the day, we all got purpose, right? And if when you wake up in the morning, you love what you do, if you love having a she shack, it's your purpose, right? Mm-hmm. And it's something that you're supposed to do, right? You know, and when, you know, I say 1 + 1 = more than 2, mm-hmm. because you're going to pour into somebody else that's going to take that and pour and pour and pour and pour. We didn't bring it up much, but the Girl with a Grill, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. The Girl with a Grill is an initiative that's, I literally had a dream, okay? Okay. I had a dream July 4th weekend, this July 4th, okay? I woke up and I said to my boyfriend Raheem, I said, you know what? I feed people all the time. I'm just going to get up. I'm just going to go somewhere. We're just going to feed people, right? He said, it's July 4th. I know. I'm just going to do it, right? And then I sat back and said, no, I'm not going to do July 4th, right? So let me
been there, bro.
It wasn't that I wasn't going to do it. I said, you know what? Let me pull off.
Right, put some thought into it.
A little bit more thought into this, right? And so I called up one of my good friends, right? And I was talking to her about it. She said, girl, you know, they're giving out summons, you know, for just popping up places, right? Feeding people because we're trying to clear up some of the parks and some of the things, you know, with some homeless people and so forth. She was like, you know, you might get a ticket, right? I'm like, oh, I might get a ticket. All right, I'm not going to, okay. So then, this is on Tuesday. Thursday, I call up one of my associates from Mighty Riders. Derek runs Mighty Riders. I said, hey, when do you do your food drives? No, actually, this was Wednesday, so when do you do your food drives? He said on Thursday. He was on vacation in Florida. He said, I said, okay, I'm going to come out there. I said, I'm going to pop up my grill and feed people. He's like, oh, when you want to do it? I said, tomorrow. So I'm going to do it on Thursday. He's like, I'm on vacation. I'm like, I don't need you. Like, give me some people that, you know, correspond, but I'm mm-hmm. coming out there, right? Showed up out there Thursday, fed over 100 people.
Wow.
Okay? Friday, called up my one of my guys that does graphics, amazing designer. I said, hey, I have an idea, right? I said, I'm going to call this Girl with a Grill, right? I said, can you make me a logo? This is what I'm thinking. Monday, had a logo for me.
Wow.
Okay. On Monday. Okay. We haven't even gotten to a week yet. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mind you, this thought came July 4th. We were sitting in September. To date, I fed over 1,000 people.
Wow.
Okay. Either you're in need or you are helping those in need.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The blessing behind it is it's all out of my pocket.
Mm-hmm. Right. Look at God.
Right?
God is so
it's
amazing.
out of my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger blessing behind it mm-hmm. is that people are paying attention to it and now they want to help.
Tell us, because you was on Fox 29. Yeah. You tell us about that. Tell us about, like, you have. I went back and watched it actually.
Okay.
I went back and watched it. I had to do my little research on you. Now I think I'm a little, you know, versed in the Drews over here. So, but they gave you your props. They gave you they like honored you in a sense, like what you're doing as a change maker. Mm-hmm. Like a change maker, not for clout, like mm-hmm. you know, like they say, clout chasing and all of that. Not for the attention, mm-hmm. not for the money. It's literally your heart is on the outside of you.
But you know what, man?
Like you can see her heart
to other people. the more God is blessing her.
She is amazing.
Because you got to think about it. It's like a domino effect. You started off with one thing, okay? And then God gave you something else. And I always say God is not going to give you no more than you can handle. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's just like the story that he gave the 3 men the 10 coins. One person took it and put it in the ground and didn't do anything with it. One person lived out on faith, took the whole 10 and invested it. One person said, well, I'm not going to invest all of it. I'm going to invest half. So when the owner came back, what did he do? He blessed you according to what you did, what you done. And the more you do, the more God is going to bless you. You understand? You started off, you fed 100. Now you done fed 1,000. Okay. Who's gonna say maybe next year this time you may be even?
We not talking 5,000 or 10,000 or who knows how this get
because God is constant because you giving more of yourself. Every time you're giving something of yourself. So the more of yourself you give, the more God is going to bless you. Not only through your business, but through your nonprofit organization, through the Girl with the Grill, or your hot dog business, or your entrepreneurship, or because she's telling me you're doing all these things. Okay.
I've been
but this is the thing. You think that you just Girl Friday, but you're not. Okay, you are a woman with a purpose.
And you know, Ma, I appreciate that, right? Because just like, you know, I'm telling you certain things, right? Sometimes it gets hard.
I'm sure it does.
Sometimes it gets hard. And sometimes you're saying, like you said, and you know, God will never give you more than you can handle. Sometimes I'll be like, Lord, hold up.
It's too much.
Like,
it's too much.
You know that my shoulders are they heavy right now. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, and
I can relate.
Right? And you know, I appreciate that, right? Because you know, it does get hard at times.
It does.
And you know, we're all human. And we sit back sometimes and we question at times, right? And it's like, okay, wait a minute, am I doing the right thing? Like, what am I doing? You know, but we don't, like I said, we don't stay in that place because then it's almost like God comes through and either I'm gonna tell you a funny story. I was talking to my mom. This was probably maybe about 2 months ago. I was talking to her on the phone, and I was just joking. I had this joke with God, and I said, God, this is before I even talked to her. I said, if I go somewhere and I don't have on my hot dog factory shirt, I don't have on anything, I'm just regular clothes, and somebody walks up to me and says, girl, I know you, I've seen you, something, right? I said, I know I'm doing the right things. I made it, right? 2 hours later, I walk into a Wawa. I wasn't even supposed to be in that area. I was supposed to have been in Philly by that time. I walk into this Wawa by my house. I'm on the phone with my mom. This lady comes up to me and says, I know you. I was like, what? She was like, I follow you on Instagram. She was like, I see everything that you do. It is such a pleasure to meet you. I'm on the phone like,
God play too much. He play too much. He do. He play too much. He do.
Like, who is that? I said, I have no idea, right?
I tell my mother all the time, God have a sense of humor. He definitely has a sense of humor.
I told her the story. I said, Ma, 2 hours ago.
Yes, that's how he works.
2 hours ago.
Yeah.
And I laughed about it because, like you said, I don't do it for clarity. I'm a regular woman. I get up, I do what I do. At the end of the night, hopefully I'm around people I love, and that's what it is, right? That's how I look at myself, right? So, you know, to hear certain things, I appreciate that because I'm good at pouring it, right? And giving, right, to others. But sometimes I'm not that good as I sit back and realize some of the things that I have done because of the reasons why I do them.
Let's talk about your initiative to put you first, because you had an initiative that you've been doing, and you posted it on the socials, and it was my pleasure to kind of watch you try to struggle through this because it's been a struggle. Like you're like, I'm going to do it. You even mentioned about having accountability partners that's holding you accountable to ensure that you do something for yourself, which I find. It's like, wow, you find so much time to help everybody.
Yeah.
Feed multitudes of people. Inspire young ladies. be an employer, be a mom, girlfriend, mother, all this stuff, daughter, all these things with regular life. But you struggle with doing small things for you.
You know,
So how you coming with that?
it's been some work. But you know what I learned though? I always thought that I did quite a few things for myself, right? Because I get my massages, I get my toes done, all that stuff. But it's never planned. I do it when I got a few minutes, I'm gonna go do this. Oh, I got a couple of minutes, I'm gonna go do this, right? So my challenge was I had to intentionally, right, create time for myself every day. Or I had to allow somebody to do something for me without me saying no.
Okay.
Those were the two things,
Okay.
right? Because a lot of people will be like, hey, you know, what do you want for your birthday, right? Nothing, I'm good, right? Or where you want to go? No, I'm good, right? You know, so I would say no a lot to people that want to do things for me, right? So day one, I almost failed. Day one. The day got by me. It's like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I haven't done anything for myself. So thankfully, my boyfriend said, you did say people could do something for you, right? I said, yeah. He said, all right, we went to go play pool. He said, we're going to go out and play pool. I spent all night racking the balls because I cannot play pool at all, right?
Okay.
So I lost every game. But it was his way of being like, I'm not going to let you fail the first day, right? So let's go, right? So I said, okay, right? So then the next day I got better. I started thinking about it, whatever the case is. I actually had strangers that were following like on social media that would send me a message, hey, what you do for yourself? And I was like, what? Like y'all actually read this?
Yeah, yeah. We are reading and watching.
Right? I had a good friend, and I don't think she'll care if I say it. So Wawa, Tawanda, she thought my birthday was like a week ago. And I was just basically saying how I was kind of struggling through getting to do something for myself. She called me up and went off on me and said, what are you doing? Like, this is your day. Da, 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 da. She was like, your birthday's now. I was like, my birthday's not today. And she was like, did you do something for yourself? And I told her, I said, I love you. I said, I love you.
Okay.
I said, because the energy that you have to want to help hold me accountable to myself and to do something for myself, I said, I absolutely love you.
Y'all, let me tell you, Miss Wawa,
Yes.
affectionately, so many we call her, Miss Tawanda Jones. She's actually gonna be here next week. She's gonna. I've had the absolute honor and pleasure. Actually, met both of you on the same day, and the love that the both of you surrounded me with was, I mean, it just knocked me off my feet. I cannot explain it any other way. No one has ever embraced me so affectionately from day number one. And Miss Wawa said to me, she actually, we was crying because she let me interview her that day. I was like, if I never get a chance to meet you again, I have to interview you. And it was so crazy, and I know my mom is going to be able to relate to this, but one of my girlfriend's daughters' house caught a fire. TT.
Okay.
House caught a fire. Lost everything but her and her children's lives, and the clothes that was on their back. Miss Wawa had helped her get the home that her and her children was living in, because they was like, just life was having its way, and they was having some challenges with securing a home. And I remember TT's putting a post up, and she was a heartfelt post about Miss Wawa, and I knew nothing of who this person was, but I could feel the emotion that she was feeling as she wrote it. Like, it was so affectionate, it was so heartfelt. By the way, she's also going to give us she's going to do a virtual with us, because she's now in Texas. I wanted her to pop in with Wawa because I needed Wawa to see her. But when I talked to her, and when she said who her name was, and I said, oh, I said, you know my niece. And I have a host of nieces and nephews. Let me just tell you, I got a bunch of them. I can't even name all the kids and nieces and nephews that I have. And I said, TT, and I started sharing a story with her, and she said, I know exactly who you talking about. And I said to her, I said, well, I gave TT her first job when she was like 15. And she said, I know that story. She said TT affectionately talks about her aunt giving her her first job. Now we are like, sometimes your family are people that you handpicked, and sometimes your family are people that God gives to you, and sometimes you're born into them. And she said to me, wherever you are, this is what Wawa said to me. She said, wherever you are and wherever I am, we will always align. And that's what she gave me. And when I called up on her and I called up on you, I said, listen, I'm doing Fearless and I need y'all to come and give a word of encouragement and inspiration and motivation. There was never a no. It was like, when? Send me your address. Let's work it out. Let's coordinate it. So for that, I thank you. I thank you. I thank her. I thank you, ladies, because what you give out into the community and what you give inside, it is powerful. It is motivating and it's inspiring. Like to hear you say, hey, don't minimize what you're doing. I find, for me, I try to stay humble, right? I never want to get ahead of what God has in store for me. So, and I know me. I know me. If you give me too much rope, I'm going to tear it up. I'm going to tear it up. But I know that God has now positioned me where I am disciplined. I am humbled. I am thankful. I am grateful. And He's allowed me to meet people like you, like Tawanda, and in that circle. And I'm just so happy that you honored us tonight and gave us all of what you gave, because you gave us so much. You gave so much. You inspired me to keep pressing, to keep going. You've given me information on how to manage a business, and to be patient and to be valuable, and give myself grace. And I thank you for coming here almost 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Traffic, emergency.
Yep.
But you showed up.
That's right.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous. And you gave us your 100%.
She gave us a wealth of information.
Yes, you did.
And one of the things that you said that brought me back to something that you would tell her, and I would tell her all the time, that you do the She Shack. If one person, just one,
yeah.
if you touch one person, you have done your job. Okay? And that's the same thing the identical same thing that you said. It doesn't matter how many. It's just as long as you show up and you be transparent and you tell your story, because your story may inspire somebody else. Yeah. You never know who's looking or who's watching or where they're at. Okay? And it may be that one word that prevent a person from taking their own life, or it may be that one word that give them courage to go forward, or even more than that, it may be that one word that allow them to do some of the things that the both of you all are doing. Yes. You give back to the community. Just like when you did that Unity Day and the young lady came in, I don't see no price tags on none of this stuff. That's what she told me. I'm standing up there. She said, I don't see any price tags on none of this stuff. And I said, my baby, there is no price tags because it's free. She said, it's free. I said, everything in here is free. She said, even this? I said, everything in here is free. I said, I'm putting these little numbers on here because my daughter said that it's a point system. I said, now look at here, go over there and you ask her what the point system is all about, because I can't explain it to you. I said, but she can explain it to you. So when she left and she came back, she brought somebody else with her. She said, that lady said, everything in here is free.
Everything in here is free. Speaking of, this is what I want y'all to get an idea, because I don't want you to think that we giving out some little rinky dinks and warring out, things like that, because it's all about preserving dignity and treating people with respect and honor. So I would not give you anything that I wouldn't wear. So with that being said, my outfit that I have on is from my complimentary shopping experience. This outfit and outfits that are like this is available. The name of the boutique is Victoria's Boutique, and it is named after my very good childhood friend who lost her battle with AIDS at a very young age. But one of the things that she struggled with often was having appropriate clothing. And so if I was not sure how I could honor her or give back and keep her memory alive. So I decided that every single solitary thing, I remember my friend not having sanitary napkins. I remember my friend not having things to care for her hair. I remember my friend not having clothes and shoes appropriately. I remember those things where her struggle was very real, where she had found herself as a very young girl sleeping with boys and men to have a place to stay and things like that. And I remember a conversation and I asked her why. She said, if I just had the basic stuff that I need, I wouldn't have to do it, right? So I struggled through my own grieving because I grieved the loss of my friend for a very, very long time. But once I was able to get past that, because God helped me, this journey, this healing journey that God has taken me on has been nothing short of amazing. And in that, He showed me how I can honor both her and my great aunt. So Victoria's Boutique is a complimentary shopping experience. Every single thing in the store is free. There's new items and there's gently used items. This outfit, guys, I'm telling you, is hitting. The jacket's from Banana Republic, by the way. It's just running concurrent. So people are giving amazing things. We have bags, we have jewelry. I have baby products. So everything that's for the infants is brand new. So you get diapers, you get food, you get the baby's water, you get outfits, you get bibs. You get shoes, you get booties, you get headbands. If we can think of it, you get those items as in gift bags and we give them away. We also give toiletry bags for body wash, deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste. You get socks, you get t-shirts, you get shampoo, conditioner, hairbrushes, anything that I can actually think of that I can afford out of my pocket. That's what happens. So when you hear my mom talk about the V Love Foundation, oftentimes you hear me mention it, but you don't really hear me say too much about it. Because one thing about me, I don't like to brag. I don't like to come off like I'm being boisterous or I'm bragging. But what I am saying is like we have a complimentary shopping experience. It's called Victoria's Boutique. You get 5 points to shop in the store. How the points work, if you pick shoes, shirts, jackets, all of those is 1 point. You get 5 points to spend. If it's you with all 5 of your kids, if you got 5 kids, each kid get 5 points to come in the store and shop and get their items to choose to spend them how they want to spend them. So it's called Victoria's Shopping. Victoria's Boutique is hosted by my V Love Foundation, and if you would like to contribute to the V Love Foundation, make donations. You can make donations, you can do monetary donations, or you can volunteer your time at one of our pop-ups. You can hit me up on SheShackLive.com. You can hit me up on ConversationsWithAQueen.com. You can also find me at YTrench at the VLoveFoundation.com. You can also send me a DM on Instagram. You can hit us up on YouTube. You can hit us up on Facebook. We're also on Pinterest. If you would like to be a part of this movement, because it's a movement. It's not just a moment. We're not doing this for a moment. This is longevity. If you would like to contribute to my foundation, if you would like to contribute to Stand the Course Foundation, if you would like to contribute in any type of way, because you do book bags, school supplies, you're doing food, you're doing clothes. Oh, you got, yeah, like
1,000 book bags in conjunction with Community SJP. We did 1,000 school supply book bags this year. They all went to our underserved communities. Or children in those communities, right? And you know what I want to do, Mom? One day we're gonna put her in her own She Shack. Okay, we're gonna sit there, and she gonna sit right here.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
That would be
and what
awesome.
we're gonna do is, because you are a trailblazer, right? And it's not about bragging, right? It's about letting people know what you're doing. So we don't know when. Oh, but
they gonna kick me out my
You
seat.
are coming and sitting on your own She Shack.
That would be ideal.
You know what? Mom,
Yeah.
we about to game plan this. Because
Yes, that would be ideal. You know why? Because because of the simple fact she touched so many people.
Yes, she does.
She really touched, and I don't think she realized that she does.
That's okay though, because we're gonna help her.
Yeah, because I need to
They can't get no more than me.
Do you understand? You just said everything in that store is free. That outfit is banging. Okay.
This outfit is from.
Everything.
I'm gonna
in that
take you
store
to my
is free.
store. Everything in my
She
store is
just
free.
said, okay, look, y'all. I'm gonna be promoting her on all my pages. She said, if you come in and you got 5 kids, I'm
A
not
whole
gonna
lot
lie.
of your
I
kids.
thought she was gonna say each kid get a point.
No, each
She
kid
said
get 5 points.
Everybody get 5
5 points.
Yeah.
Everybody that comes through the
That
door
is-
get 5 points. to shop.
That is a giving heart. It is not bragging. Okay. Sometimes we gotta get out of our own way.
Yeah,
and
you
we
do.
gotta let people know what we're doing. How do we know what you're doing and how you're impacting the community if you don't tell us, right? So you just told us. I'm about to tell a whole bunch of people. One of my pages has 15,000 people.
Wow.
The other one has like 12,000, right?
Wow.
So we about to share all of that. And my 15 and 12,000 people, I need y'all to share it. Because I got some people on my page, I got 1 million people, right? I ain't there yet. Right. I'm going to need y'all to share this, right?
I
Because that
thank
is-
you
that is
so much. I'm
absolutely
so honored.
amazing.
I am so honored.
That is
I'm so honored.
amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
You are a girl boss building her empire.
Yes, I am.
I see your sign back there.
Yes,
You
yes,
know
I
what
am.
And
Yes,
that's
I
what's
am.
going to happen.
Thank you
all right?
so much. And I want
So-
to thank everybody that tuned in, that hung in there with us. I'm all the way down to the last second. I've seen you guys. I've seen you hanging there with us, and I thank you. And you're constantly, hey, Tay. So I see, oh, thank you. She said I start following you. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody that has stood in there with us and just hung in there with us and all the way to the end and support us. And to all my supporters, all of y'all, whether I know you or don't know you, I want you to know I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you so much, because when you show up, I keep showing up. So we're going to show up for each other together. Watch us on YouTube. If you miss any of our episodes, if you're new to the She Shack, you can find us on Conversations with a Queen on YouTube. All our old episodes is there. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. I think that's it where we are right now. Until God moves us.
Book club.
Until God moves us. Oh, that's right. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna get there. So also for all of my book club followers, I thank y'all because we done grew to 45 members. I'm so excited about this. But we are now reading the book, almost done. A new book is coming, Around the Way Girl by Tahaj P. Henson. And let me tell you, that book is off the hook. Off the hook. I will be hosting a brunch in November for all my book club members. We're gonna discuss this book, move into our next book, and we also will be hosting a family for Thanksgiving and a family for Christmas. Last year, I was able to host 3 families. This year, my goal is to host 5 of them. My goal is to feed 5 families all the trimmings. In trench fashion. I don't know if y'all know what trench fashion mean, but everything, all the trimmings, everything. You gotta have everything. You can't have the yams without the greens. You can't have the greens without the rice, the cornbread, the turkey, the ham. You cannot have it without. You gotta have sweet potato pie. You gotta have those things. So for us, we want to share and give back into a multitude. So if you would like to contribute to us feeding families and making Christmas a spectacular event for families, SheShackLive.com. Hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on YouTube, or you can also email me, Trench at the V-Love Foundation. You can also conversationswithaqueen.com. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you so much, Mom, because this is real late night for her. We on some late night stuff, but at least I did make sure they had something to eat. They did eat. Now I made sure I fed them and made sure that they was good. They can have something to eat. I didn't cook, but I did make sure they had something to eat. Thank y'all for watching us. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. We love y'all. Now I gotta get up and turn this camera off because we don't have a cameraman.
They get to see that outfit.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
See the outfit.
So this outfit, guys, is from my complimentary shopping experience. I love this blazer, And this dress, the blazer is from Banana Republic. Not the shoes. Not the shoes. The shoes ain't part of the store. Okay? But the blazer and this dress is a part of the. And I'm going to actually take y'all behind. I'm going to take you so you can see my store is right behind here. My store is right back here. So I'm going to let y'all see some other stuff. But this little number, baby, is hitting. So if you would like this outfit, something similar, you got a job interview coming up, something like that, you don't have nothing to wear, she shack me, baby. I got you. Talk to y'all later. Good night. All right. Finish number 1. Oh, hey, Tay. I'm hanging up now. I'm not sure how to do it. Oh, we still live. How we in
At
this?
the top.
Right here?
No, the X. There you go.
And now, we went a little bit over our time. That's okay, though. And then here. And it